Okay. I was just watching something and I was thinking, well, you got to put your money where your mouth is, because I'm telling you, like what I do, this is what I do to keep myself healthy. If you think that I'm healthy or whatever, I'm getting healthy, and I mean, all the lines in my face are disappearing and stuff like that or whatever. I mean, I've kind of had a full life, but but I do believe pretty strongly in putting or doing the things that you recommend. I mean, if you don't do the things you recommend, like I recommend smoking pot, but I just like smoking pot, so I've always liked smoking pot. And so I am going to recommend Stash Box candy cones for advanced smokers. Candy cones are the way to go. Candy cones. And I noticed that you couldn't really see the list. This is straight up. See that? This is what a candy cone's information indica. This is a candy cone. But I mean, higher up it's laced in keef. Keef is the powder that comes off of a pot plant and it makes you high. It makes you high. But smoking it straight kind of burns it up. And it's just you can smoke it straight, it's just you're using a lot and you're not getting, I don't think you get a good hit smoking keef straight. But some people like it, you can't take anything away from anybody. But this is keef, or this is keef covered joint with infused keef in the pot. This will get you high. This will get you high. I promise you. This will get you high. And we also have some bud, but I forget what it's called, but it's good. I mean, it's like I got these at Stash Box. Well, because I rip up the buds and then put them in here, but so there's no real big chunks, but they're like snow covered. They're like covered in snow. Okay, and that's a good thing in buds, because that means they're covered in keef or something like keef. It is actually the keef that they take off the plants. That's what they're covered in when they're white. So you want those. They're good. I think. I mean, if you want to smoke like a champ, we have our Bic. And I'm going to get back to what I was talking about before, about doing the things that you say, doing the things that you recommend. It's just maybe something you got to kind of prepare for. But I'm going to take a hit, and then we'll enjoy my hit together, and then I'll get back to what I was talking about before. That warm feeling like you're relaxed, like you're calm, like you feel normal again, like you feel like that warm feeling that just, it comes over you, and you're just like, you're dropping into a state of normality. You feel like you're out of a state of normality, but you're dropping into a state of normality. You just feel like, oh, I'm warm now. Like God is cupping you. That God is, like, you're dropping into God's hand. As soon as you take the hit, that's how you feel. You just feel like this warm come over you. It's just like, oh, I can relax now, because I just have this warm come over me, and it's like, oh, This is why I do. This is why I keep doing this, you know. And I can't. I mean, I can put it down. It's just, it's very enjoyable because I just feel like I'm inundated with stuff. But it's my own. I think it's my own psychological brain creating some of my problems. But I think that I'm actually very correct on a lot of the things that I believe and the things that I see in society. I mean, it's obvious, you know. Some of the things are just obvious. I mean, the illegal wars that we're getting into. Anyways, we have a problem because there's radioactive stuff in the air, and even if you don't see it, it's there. Okay? And we know that because all the fish are dead, right? If I wasn't sure that the things that they're saying are true, I wouldn't be warning you. But I'm warning you. The things that they're saying are true. The radiation killed all the fish, killed the oceans. The terrible things happened to our oceans. And radiation is acidic. When you get it in your body, it's acidic, and it starts burning, and you need to get it out. Baking soda turns your blood alkaline, and alkaline is the opposite of acidic. They sound a little bit the same. I always thought, why would they make the names so same? It should be alkaline and no, it should be acidic and zalkaline if they're opposites, but they have the same letter, alkaline and acidic. Acidic causes cancer. Alkaline is like a calm pond, right? You want your blood to be alkaline. Not too alkaline, but just because you don't want to overdose on baking soda. Don't overdose. You can, and it'll make you so thirsty that you won't be able to drink enough. It will give you agoraphobia, or yeah, I think that's what it's called. When you just have to keep drinking water all the time or whatever, because it'll dry you out. So there is side effects if you overdose on baking soda, but just do a half a teaspoon in a glass of water. I'm gonna do it right now to show. This has been open for a couple months, but I use it every so often. I do this, you know, maybe once every couple weeks or whatever. It doesn't taste the greatest, but I just think about the effects that it's having on my blood, you know, because when I say that, you know, eating spices and herbs and stuff like that, because you have free radicals in your blood, right? And they have a certain design to them floating around in your blood, and you need to eat spices and herbs and stuff, put other stuff in your blood, right? Looking for those things, to attach to those things, like in your blood. AIDS has a specific design that has a hook on it, and it's kind of intended for a specific race, to latch on to a specific race and to get rid of a specific race. But that's all chemistry. So I'm gonna take half a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm gonna say that's half a teaspoon. Okay? And stir it up in a glass, half a glass, or you'll see, here's the glass. See how much water there is in it? This is just filtered water. It's not especially cold. I just keep it on. Okay, I mean, what am I preparing for? Okay, but yeah, because I wouldn't drink it all in just one gulp anyways. But it all depends on you, depending on how much it's going to affect you. You know, just all these things, the apple cider vinegar, and I do them once in a while, so it's affecting me like I do them once in a while. It might really affect you. You might just totally gross out from them or barf from them, or, you know, I hope you don't, but they're just things that you have to get used to, you know? I think a lot of it, really, and I'm all into the psychological part of life or whatever, but I think a lot of it is just psychological, right? This might just taste like completely normal water, but in my brain, this water has baking soda in it. So my brain is like fucking with me and telling me that I'm grossed out by it, but it just might just be normal water with baking soda in it. Because the baking soda removes, I believe it removes radioactive particles. I believe that. I actually believe that baking soda removes radioactive particles from your blood. Honestly, I believe it. Truly, I'm not lying to you at all. This isn't an advertisement for Arm & Hammer baking soda or anything, but I just honestly believe that baking soda removes radioactive particles from your blood. Because I was just watching a chemical thing about it or whatever, and I'm not a chemist, and they just made me understand why I believe that, because of the chemistry of it or whatever. It just made sense that the cure would cost nothing. The actual cure, and I also don't believe that cancer ever goes into remission, because it's never really sitting dormant. It's already burned everything that's around it, and it needs to be broken free, and it might never be broken free. So the cancer might never be big enough, because the cancer is a burning ember in your blood. That's what the cancer is, right? When they're trying to convince you and everything about this cancer, that they don't know where it came from and they don't know what made it, and you know, it's probably your own fault that you have it. It's probably not your own fault that you have it. You probably just breathed it in somewhere, right? And you just ended up with this cancer lodged in one of your organs or whatever, and you need to get it out, right? And your blood is acidic, mostly acidic, and that might not totally be true. And so I'm not trying to step on any doctor's toes or anything, but you need to make your blood alkaline, and baking soda does that. Okay, so I drank that spoonful of baking soda, and I could do that once a day if I was worried about there being cancer in my system or whatever, and I might do it. So how about that'll be my challenge, and it is the 11/28 at 5. I'll either do it tonight or tomorrow, and I'll do it for 5 days, which would be my prescription. How about I'll do it for 10 days? I'll do it until December. How about I'll do it until December 8th? So that's like 11 days. And if I forget, I might do it all the time. We'll see how baking soda affects a person. I wish it was cocaine. It's only me. I know I'm a crackhead, and you're not gonna listen to anything that I say because you think I'm just a drug addict. Well, I mean, I don't know. Does anything that I say have any importance in your life? Is anything that I'm telling you true that you should know? You need to ask yourself. Is this guy saying stuff that I actually need to know? That I can use at some time in my life? Is he forget about it. See, I get excited about stuff. I just need to calm down. Okay. So I'm calm. So I just wanted to get in quick, and this was the main reason, because I wanted to drink some baking soda, but only a little bit, and because it can harm you. From what I understand, I mean, I looked it up, what the deleterious effects, what the bad effects were from it, and it said extreme thirst and stuff like that, and stomach pains, I think, or whatever. But just I would recommend it, because it gets it out of your system and it puts it into your, I don't know, it puts it into your bowel, or it puts it into, because when it latches on to whatever's in your blood, that's how the things in your blood get taken out of your system. Because when they match up with something else, then they get taken out of the system, because they're just sitting on the walls or whatever, right? Some of them are floating, but not many. They're just sitting on the walls. But when they get their match, then they get picked up and they get taken out of the system. See? That's how your system works. Kind of. Some of them just die, and, you know, cells die all the time. But, but then they get taken out of your system and you get healthy from them. When they're sitting there. Or they cause you cancer. They can start burning. If they're too acidic, they start burning in the wall that they're sitting in. They'll just start burning, and that's cancer. When they start burning. And you need to get those out of your system. And baking soda will help you do that. I recommend it. Okay. Have a good night. Bye. This is Brent Pot Hour, by the way.